Hi there, welcome to a new video on the Shirido channel. My name is Irene and today I'm going to quilt with some wavy rulers. These wavy rulers and what you can do with them. Make sure to check that out. It's Sunday morning over here. I'm feeling a lot better. Thanks for all the well wishes on last week's video. Baby Ella is taking a nap and my husband and the little mister are out, so perfect little time window to film a video. So I thought let's show you these wavy rulers and what you can do with them. So I have a scrap piece of quilt and I'm just going to quilt a little bit with these rulers, tell you a little bit more about it and show you what they can do.
I'm having my settings on 8 stitches per inch and RPM of 250, and I have a nice pink 40-weight thread, so you can really see what I'm quilting.
And the rulers that I'm using are these wavy rulers. They come in a set of 3 by Amanda Murphy for Good Measure rulers, and they are the same shape but different sizes. So this makes a 1-inch wave, and this one a 2-inch, and this one is in the middle, so that's a 1.5 inch. So what that size means is that when you quilt this wave from the top to the bottom of the wave, that's 1 inch, and here you have a little bit of a shorter wave and this is a longer wave. So those are the differences in rulers, and there are all kinds of guidelines on here. So let me show you first just to quilt a wave and then use the guide to make a wave on the opposite side of that one. So I'm first going to make a basic wave just to show you how it works, and then quilt the wave on the opposite side using some of the guidelines. There we go. Let's quilt the smallest and shortest wave that there is. So when you get to the end of the ruler, you can just move the ruler to the opposite side and then continue quilting. So on this piece of scrap quilt, I don't have any guidelines, so I'm not sure where I need to go to make a perfect straight continuous wave. But for this demonstration, that's all good, I guess. If you want, you can make a guideline on your quilt or just use a seam that you follow along a border or something. Yeah, but if you want, you can make markings on your quilt so you know exactly where to line up the ruler. So I'm just going to make 2 of these. And since the ruler or this wave is a 1 inch high, I'm just going to move over 1 inch. I like to use my straight ruler, but there's also a straight side on this ruler, so I could also have used this one. And what I'm going to do now is quilt in the opposite direction. So I want to make a counter wave. So here you see the wave that we made, by the way. Looks so pretty. So cool when it turns out exactly the way you wanted. Yeah, so the counter wave, you see here those black partial circles, or what is it? Yeah, part of a circle. And those are the tops of the wave that we just quilted. So when you place it like this, you can make a perfect counter wave. I'm going to turn my work. This is why I always love to end with the needle down. That way you can just continue where you stopped. And I just said it's so nice when it turns out the way you planned it. And even working with rulers, you still have to practice on that, because you have to practice on keeping your ruler foot against your ruler without pressing too hard. But it's very easy, especially with curves and round shapes, to lose the connection between your ruler foot and your ruler. But as always, just take it slow, and then it will just work out fine. So that is a nice double wave. This will look perfect when you use it in a border or something like that. And when I would now move 1 inch and a quarter, then I can make a wave again and have 2 of these next to each other. So let's see. Moving to the side 1 inch is over here, and then a quarter more is when my ruler foot is on the edge of this wave. So let's just quilt another wave. And you can now also line up your ruler with the edge of the ruler against the wave that we previously quilted. Because of the ruler foot, there will always be a 1/4 inch distance between where your needle is and where the edge of the ruler foot is. So when I quilt all the way here, I won't touch the previous wave, but I will be a 1/4 inch away from it. So this is something that you can make. Oops, see here, I moved a little bit. I moved my ruler a little bit while quilting, and that is why this turned out a little bit pointier. But as with every quilting, when this happens on your quilt, just leave it as it is, because when your quilt is done, you really won't notice this. So this is something that you can make with a wavy ruler. Let's try something with the longer wave. So let's say we have a border on our quilt, and I'm just going to quilt a border because this shows a little bit better on video than using the Hera marker does. Let's say we have a border on our quilt and we want to use a wavy ruler to fill it. You could make a nice ribbon with this ruler. So that means that I'm going to make 2 waves and then have them offset a little bit. And that means also that I'm not going to position this ruler exactly in the center over here. So it has to be a little bit to the side. So now it's going to end up in the middle, I think. So let's offset it a little bit to that side. And first quilt it. So what you can keep in mind when you want to have this wave nicely aligned in your border is looking at these markings and keeping them parallel to the edge of your border. Let's go. And as you can see, it's nicely a little bit offset to the left from where we look at it right now. So what I could do is move over and then just quilt another wavy line, and then we will just have 2 wavy lines. But what I want to do is make it a little bit offset so that we're making kind of a ribbon. And now I also want to have the space that I had over here, I want to have it over there. So that means that I need to have that, let's see, I'm quilting a little bit to this side, yes. So where do we start? I think this is it. Yep. Yeah. there we go. Let's see how this turns out. I like it. It's kind of a playful design, and when you would line up these waves with each other, then it's even better, I guess. So let's try that again and see if we can line up those two. I'm just experimenting here on a Sunday morning, so don't be too hard. Just playing around and experimenting a little bit on a Sunday morning, so don't be too judgeful. So let's make that first line again. So what I would like to try is to match up those two. So to have the wave end on the wave and then continue. Let's see how we could do that. First need to move up a little bit. Well, I guess what we want to do is let's see, how can I show you the best? So if this was the placement of the ruler, then we needed to be sure that we have a 1/4 inch between this ruler and this line over here. That would mean that my needle would follow this line. And then a 1/4 inch from here, and then over here the same. So when the edge of this ruler and this line is a 1/4 inch, then you know that the needle is going to hit it over there. So I guess we could try that. So it's going to be something like here, I think. Let's see how this goes. Whoops, I messed up by moving my ruler when I was on top there. Just going to pretend that didn't happen. Yeah, so we want to have it touching here. And then moving the ruler. Perfect. Yeah, so that is what I was looking for. So here it worked out. And then here I messed up because I moved it a little bit over here, I think. And then here it's touching again. So it's kind of a tricky design, but hey, I just tried it 2 times, so let's see how it goes for a 3rd time. Look-see, it's getting better and better. So I guess practice helps. So yeah, I think it's a really lovely design for using this ruler in a border. And what you could do is every time you're on a spot where those lines are touching, just slightly reposition your ruler so that you have that 1/4 inch distance on the next intersection. Since this is a really fun ruler to use in borders, I'm just going to quilt another border. And I'm using the Every Wave 2-inch ruler over here. And I'm positioning it on the side, using those horizontal lines that are on the ruler. So I'm quilting it 2 times, slightly offsetting the lines. And then also on the other side, I am quilting it 2 times. And this will give a really nice feel for a border where it looks like the 2 waves are moving on and off the border of your quilt. I have one more area to fill on this practice quilt. So what I'm going to do here is make another background quilting design or overall quilting pattern. You could use it in different ways. But before I'm going to quilt, I'm just going to show you a method of how to try the patterns that you want to make with your rulers. What you can do to try out some designs is just use a paper, pencil, and your rulers. So let's see if we can make a fun background design using these rulers. And I'm now of course using a pencil, so there's not a 1/4 inch gap from my needle point, from my pencil point towards the ruler, but there are, I believe there are little things, little rings of a 1/4 inch that you can use for drawing patterns for sewing. But for this wave, it's not a problem if it's a 1/4 inch above the line or right on the line. But I could imagine if you want to plan out a design with circles, the circles getting a 1/4 inch bigger or smaller, whether you're using a pen or your ruler foot, of course. So let's see if we can make a fun design with this. First going to start out drawing a line, and now I'm only drawing up until this dotted line because that is a 1/4 inch from the side. Normally with your needle you would stop here, of course. So there we have a wave, and I thought it would be nice to have a kind of random-ish wave pattern, but with all the waves on the horizontal, but just having random waves. And because I'm positioning them randomly, I think I will go with 1 or 2 wave sizes. Let's see, yeah, let's try out 2 wave sizes, and then yeah, I need to make sure that they're not touching each other. At least that's the design I want to go for. So you could make them go over each other, but I would like to have a more spacious quilting design. The nice thing with this is that you don't use any quilt or quilt top or make stitches that you want to rip out again after you're done. So I guess that's nice. That way you can just try to see if you like it. And here again, so maybe it's easier if we don't want the lines to cross each other, that I would just use one wave shape. So let me get another piece of paper and try that again. Here we have a wavy design with one ruler. And it is easier to plan with one ruler, so you know exactly how high the waves are, and they won't cross each other as easily. I think I like how this pattern turned out. I also tried using 3 sizes of rulers and having them interfere with each other. And I think this also gives a nice look and feel to the quilting structure. So it depends a little bit on what kind of look you want to go for. Yeah, so I think I like these two the best. So this one was with 1 size ruler, and this was with 3 different sizes of rulers. Let's see, what are we going to quilt? I am going to go with this one. Let's see if we can make this even prettier. when we're quilting. So changing my plan, I am going to go with 3 rulers and making them interfere on purpose and seeing what kind of pattern we can get with this. There we go. Let's make some waves. Looks like a nicely filled in area. I am very happy with how this turned out. So it was kind of an experiment. That's why it's called a practice quilt. But there's just, I guess, one spot where the largest wave and the smallest wave are colliding that I'm not completely happy about. But the rest of the filled in area, I really like how organic and soft it looks. So I could really imagine using this on a quilt with only strips and squares and maybe only solid, so it looks a little bit like a more squared geometric design, and then using such an overall organic pattern. I guess that would look wonderful. So what I'm doing here, showing what rulers can do, demonstrating this is also something that will come up in the Sugar Doo Menina Quilt Along that we're going to start in January. So if you've missed it, you haven't missed anything. It's going to be officially announced in November, but I'm already talking about it because the quilt kits are already in my shop, and that is because it takes more time for me to get all the fabric in and to assemble the kits. There's some delays with wholesale and getting all the materials in this year, so I started early. So if you want to be sure to have your rulers or your quilt kit in time for the quilt along, you can already take a peek at my website. So sugardoo.com/123, that's the name of the new quilt along. There is more information, a little video with some sneak peeks to show you what we will be making. And if you're already sure that you want to follow along and that you want to do it with a quilt kit, just make sure to order it already so I can send it to you on time, and you will have it before the Christmas business and before the quilt along starts. So yeah, make sure to check that out. In the quilt along we will be working with rulers, free motion quilting. It will all be focused on practicing our quilting. So this ruler set is also one that we're going to use in the quilt along together with some other rulers, but more about that is on my website. So if you want more information, make sure to hop over there. And you can also leave your email address, so if you want to be the first to know about the official announcement of the quilt along, leave your email address on sugardoo.com/123, and then I can keep you updated when we're officially going to announce it. And then I'm also going to show you the whole quilt and all the designs that we will be making. Yeah, so check that out if you are interested in learning more about rulers. It's going to be such a fun quilt along. Really looking forward to it. But I guess this was it for this video. Baby Ella is awake, my family is back home, so that was my Sunday morning sewing session. Hope you liked it, and if you have suggestions about more rulers or quilting tools that you would like to see me use and make a video about, just leave suggestions in the comment section down below. I would love to hear what you would like to see on this channel. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye!